Biodiversity at the brink, species and habitats under stress. The dense canopy of the Amazon rainforest filtered the sunlight into a soft, verdant glow. In the heart of this ancient jungle, life thrived in a delicate balance, a tapestry of interwoven species and ecosystems. But that balance was fraying, threatened by forces both natural and man-made. The air, once filled with the symphony of countless creatures, now carried an undertone of tension. Dr. Isabella Reyes adjusted her wide-brimmed hat and wiped the sweat from her brow. She had dedicated her life to studying the Amazon, a passion ignited in her childhood. But this expedition was different. It was a race against time. Species that had thrived for millennia were now teetering on the brink of extinction. "Isabella, over here," her assistant Marco called from a nearby clearing. Isabella hurried over, her boots squelching in the damp earth. Marco was kneeling beside a cluster of orchids, their vibrant colours a stark contrast to the surrounding greenery. "What's the situation?" she asked, her eyes scanning the delicate flowers. "These are Oncidium sfacillatum," Marco said, his voice tinged with excitement. "But look at the leaves. They're starting to wilt, and the roots are exposed." Isabella knelt beside him, examining the orchids closely. "The soil's too dry," she murmured, frowning. "This area used to be much wetter. The deforestation upstream must be affecting the water table." Marco nodded. "And it's not just the plants. I've seen fewer insects around. The birds that rely on them are starting to leave too." Isabella's heart sank. The intricate web of life in the rainforest was unravelling, and the consequences were far-reaching. She stood up, brushing the dirt from her hands. "We need to document this and report back. If we can show the direct impact, maybe we can push for stronger protections." As they moved deeper into the jungle, the signs of stress became more evident. Isabella's mind raced with thoughts of the countless species under threat. The jaguar, the harpy eagle, the poison dart frog, all symbols of the Amazon's biodiversity, now facing an uncertain future. They reached a clearing where a towering Brazil nut tree stood. Its branches were home to a myriad of creatures, from howler monkeys to macaws. Isabella set up her camera, capturing the tree in all its grandeur. "This tree is a keystone species," she said to Marco. "If it goes, so does everything that depends on it." The sound of chainsaws in the distance sent a chill down her spine. They were still miles away, but the noise was a haunting reminder of the destruction encroaching on this sanctuary. Isabella and Marco pressed on, determined to gather as much data as possible. As dusk approached, they set up camp beside a winding river. The water levels were lower than usual, and Isabella noted the exposed riverbanks. She sat on a rock, watching the sun dip below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the forest. Marco joined her, handing her a cup of coffee. "Do you ever wonder if it's too late?" he asked quietly. Isabella sipped her coffee, the bitter warmth grounding her thoughts. "I try not to think like that," she said. "If we give up hope, we give up the fight, and there are still things we can do to make a difference." The night came alive with the sounds of the jungle. Frogs croaked, insects hummed, and distant roars echoed through the trees. Isabella felt a sense of peace in the chaos, a reminder of the resilience of nature. But that peace was shattered by a sudden sharp cry. She sprang to her feet, flashlight in hand. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. Marco nodded, grabbing his own light. They followed the sound, their footsteps careful and deliberate. The cries grew louder, leading them to a small clearing where they found a young jaguar, its paw caught in a crude trap. Isabella's heart ached at the sight. She approached slowly, speaking in soothing tones. "It's okay. We're here to help," she murmured. The jaguar's eyes were wide with fear and pain, but it remained still as Isabella and Marco worked to free it. With careful precision, they released the trap, and the jaguar limped away, disappearing into the shadows. "Poachers," Marco muttered, his voice filled with anger. Isabella nodded, feeling a mix of relief and frustration. "We saved one tonight, but there are so many more out there. We need to address the root causes: poverty, lack of education, and the demand for exotic animals." The next morning, they packed up camp and continued their journey. Every step revealed more evidence of the rainforest's plight: fallen trees, parched streams, and the absence of once common wildlife. But amidst the devastation, there were signs of hope. A nest of newly hatched turtles, a rare orchid in bloom, a troop of monkeys swinging through the trees. They reached their final destination, a research station run by local conservationists. The small team welcomed them, eager to share their findings and collaborate. Isabella felt a renewed sense of purpose as they discussed strategies for protecting the rainforest and its inhabitants. "We're not alone in this fight," one of the conservationists said. "Communities are coming together, governments are starting to listen, and there's growing awareness around the world." Isabella smiled, feeling a spark of optimism. "Then let's make sure our voices are heard," she said. "We owe it to the species that can't speak for themselves." As they prepared to leave, Isabella took one last look at the rainforest. It was a place of unparalleled beauty and complexity, a testament to the power of life. It was also a reminder of the fragility of that life, and the responsibility humanity had to protect it. The journey back was long, but Isabella's heart was lighter. She knew the challenges were immense, but she also knew that every action, no matter how small, made a difference. The fight for biodiversity was a fight for the future of the planet, and it was a fight worth pursuing with unwavering resolve. As the plane lifted off, carrying them away from the Amazon, Isabella gazed out the window at the endless green below. The rainforest was more than just a biome. It was a living, breathing entity, vital to the health of the earth. And she was determined to do everything in her power to ensure it continued to thrive, for generations to come.